Hello, ninth standard students. Welcome to the computer science class. Today we will begin with the first chapter of our syllabus, which is Digital Literacy Fundamental, Basic of Computer. In this chapter, we are going to study about the computer system, their characteristics, basic application, and components. Next is input device, in which we will cover the various input devices like mouse, keyboard, scanner, joystick, light pen, digital camera, OCR, MICR, barcode reader, magnetics type readers. Then we will study about the output devices. We will study about monitor or video, printer, plotter, speaker and projector. Then comes the concept of computer memories that will cover the primary memory such as RAM and ROM. Storage devices or the secondary memory such as hard disk, CD, DVD, pen drive. And finally, the unit of memory such as nibble, bit, bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, and terabytes. So, starting with the introduction of a computer, the definition of a computer, I have prepared some notes about this chapter. From that, I would like to teach you something about this computer. And first of all, we'll cover the definition of a terms. We'll have an understanding of a computer by its definition. And the first term is about a computer. What is a computer? So it is an electronic device that operates or work under the control of programs stored in its own computer, its memory unit. So the programs stored into a computer memory directs the computer how to work and what to perform. Okay, a computer is an electronic machine that processes raw data to give information as output. Whatever the data that we feed into a computer is always in a raw form, and computer processes it and give us some meaningful information as of in a form of information. So we are calling it an electronic device. That is because it is made up of electronic components and uses electric energy such as electricity to operate. So that is why computer is an electronic device. About the components of a computer has an internal memory which stores data and instruction temporarily awaiting processing, and even holds the intermediate result before it communicated to the recipient through the output devices. So it has got internal memory which already have some instruction for the computer how to operate and how to work, and it communicate it to the recipient to the output devices. So all the users who are working in the computer, so they get the information about the computer working and the processing that it has done through an output devices. So like if the user want to see something that has been processed by a computer, can be seen by the output devices such as monitor or a printer. So it works on a data using the instruction issued, means that a computer cannot do any useful job on its own. It can only work as per the set of instruction issued. So computer does everything on the instruction or the commands given to it by the user or a programmer in the form of program or instructions. So when we talk about a program, so what is a program? A computer program is a set of related instructions written in the language of the computer and is used to make the computer perform a specific task or to direct the computer on what to do. So means program is an instruction for a computer where there are different commands written for a computer to perform a specific task that covers the instruction how to perform a task and what has to be done by a computer. So a program is a set of instruction. So it is a set of related instruction which specify how the data is to be processed, or it's a set of instruction used to guide a computer through a process. So it's a step-by-step process for a computer to perform any specific task. About an input, so we feed data into a computer as an input. So data is a collection of raw facts. So it's all raw facts that we feed into a computer and feed it in a computer for processing. Okay, figures or instruction that do not have much meaning to the user because it is in the raw form, so it does not make any sense when they are in data form. So data may be in form of numbers, so they could be in form of numbers, alphabet, letters, or symbols, and can be processed through produce information, and then can be processed to produce information, and then this raw facts figures are processed by a computer to perform and process these data and give us a meaningful information that makes some sense for the user. So what types of data that we can feed into a computer? So basically there are two types of data or a form of data which are digital and analog. So let us see what a digital data means. Digital data is discrete in nature. It must be represented in form of numbers, alphabet, or symbols for it to be processed by a computer. So digital data are in form of numbers, alphabets, and symbols. Here we can see an example like 1, 2, 3. Okay, so these all are the example of digital data. And if we'll talk about an analog data means it isn't continuous in nature. It must be represented in physical nature in order to process by the computer. Analog data is obtained by measurement such as pressure, temperature, humidity, length, or current, etc. The output is in form of smooth graph from which the data can be read. So means analog data is in continuous form. They are not in discrete nature. Means it's not a specific or a particular data we are talking about when we are discussing about an analog. So any extracted form of data like pressure, temperature, humidity, length, or current. These are the example of analog data that we can feed into a computer. In such a computer where such type of data can be processed and can be read by a computer, and then it will make some sense for the user. And when we talk about the data processing, it is a process of collecting all items of data together and converting them into information. Now I hope this information must be clear for you, that information is a meaningful sense that a computer perform or give us after processing the data or the input. Then further talk about processing is it refers to the way the data is manipulated or handled to turn into information. The processing may involve calculation and what are the different ways to process, and these are calculation, comparison, or any logical to produce the required result. And the final output, which is an information, so it is a data which has been refined, summarized, and manipulated in the way you want it or into a more meaningful form for decision making. The information must be accurate, timely, complete, and relevant. Okay, so these are the feature of information that computer process for us, and it must be accurate, it must be very accurate in nature, it should be timely, it does not consume much of time to process any data, and it should be complete, it should not be incomplete, and it should be relevant, means it should be related to the problem that we are facing or that we are referring, so it should be relevant. So this is about the computer uh, definition, their explanation of a computer, the program and the instruction, the three main cycle of a computer: input, processing, and output. We have studied about these three, and in my next video, we'll study about the characteristics or a feature of a computer, then the different generations. So you need to see this video repeatedly until you understand. And for the writing content of your computer, this writing content in your text copies, I will send you the solved question answers, and from there you can write it in your text notebooks. So till then, goodbye and take care.